Dr. Chris.
I'm the funny one.
Calling Dr. Sant.
I'm the hard-working one.
Calling Dr. Ronks.
I'm the brilliant third twin.
It's Triple Trouble.
In this series, we celebrate your amazing body.
It looks like a banana.
We investigate the latest medical miracles.
So what's going on here?
We're delivering 2 very special new arrivals.
Who's this?
And you have special permission to enter our lab. For our most unforgettable experiments ever.
What?
It's exactly what you've been waiting for.
Coming up today.
On Operation Ouch.
We prepare for some new arrivals.
A baby sister!
We get your mind all of a boggle in Mindbenders.
And we've a spring in our step in the lab.
Zand, where are you? There's a new patient just arrived in the emergency department.
Ooh, a new patient? Let's have a look.
Waiting in the emergency department with his mum and his sister Princess is 6-year-old Junior.
Why so glum, fella?
I got my hand.
We need a gross alert straight away. If you don't like blood, look away now. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Yikes! That's a very nasty cut. You can look back now. So how did that cut happen?
Junior was helping his mum decorate the bathroom. He was peeling some paper off a shelf in a cabinet.
Ooh, I love peeling things. Stickers, bananas, a face pack.
Oh, what? Zand, there's no time to be pampering yourself. This is Junior's story. Anyway, he couldn't get some of the paper off. His mum had gone downstairs, so he decided to get some craft scissors from his sister Princess's bedroom.
Hang on a second, Chris. Junior's not allowed to touch scissors, and he's definitely not allowed in Princess's bedroom. He's gonna be in mega trouble.
Yep, but Junior started to use the scissors to scrape the paper.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Suddenly, the scissors slipped and sliced across Junior's hand and thumb.
Ouch!
Hi.
Here to examine Junior's hand is Dr. Helen Mollard.
Okay, let's have a little look.
Stand by for another gross alert.
Can you do that with your thumb for me? Can you wiggle it side to side?
Dr. Helen is checking that Junior still has feeling in his thumb and that he can move it okay. How's it looking, Doc?
That is quite a deep cut, okay, and I can see some of the tendons and things below where the cut is. It really needs to be closed properly and by one of the hand surgeons.
Junior will need to come back for an operation tomorrow where the surgeons will check there's no damage to his tendons or nerves.
We'll catch up with him later on to see how it goes. Keep an eye on him now, Princess.
And now to our lab.
I demand you let me in. Are you ready to zoom in on your body for some jaw-dropping experiments?
They'll be huge!
They'll be gross.
The snot apocalypse! And they'll come with a hazard warning!
We can do these experiments because we're doctors.
But you, don't try this at home! Today, we're taking a close-up look at your feet.
Zand, have you seen my socks and trainers? Yeah, what's this wet sand?
Well, I can explain everything, Chris. Come and have a look. I've been doing a feet experiment and I wanted to take a closer look at some footprints. So what you can see is that one side of his foot has made a much deeper impression in the sand than the other side of the foot.
You might have noticed part of your footprint is missing when you step out of the shower.
And that's because the human foot is arched. And we can see that clearly on this X-ray. Now, there are 26 bones in the human foot, and they give it incredible strength and flexibility. Running all the way along the length of the foot is an arch. So your foot is designed like the arch of a bridge, and it can support your whole body thanks to a special keystone bone. And that bone is called the talus. and here it is. It sits at the peak of the arch. It bears the weight of your whole body. And to show you just how strong the design of your foot is, we're going to build our very own Keystone Arch Bridge right here in the lab. OK, Chris, you ready? Get building!
Keystone bridges don't use glue or cement. Just like the bones in the arches of your feet, the blocks on this side of the bridge push this way and the blocks on this side push the other way.
And now, the most important bit, the keystone. This is the stone that holds all the pressure from both sides of the bridge and keeps it standing up. Now that the keystone's in, we're going to remove the frame from the middle, and then we can try the bridge. The bridge is ready for testing. On your hop, Chris.
I would have liked to have seen a building certificate.
Remember, there's no cement or anything else holding the bridge together.
It's holding me up.
Of course it's holding you up. Now, the keystone is doing a lot of work here. It's sending Chris's weight down both sides of the arch, and that's how it's able to hold him up. And the bones in your foot are designed in exactly the same way, and that's how they're able to support your entire body weight. But your foot isn't just about strength. It's also about flexibility and springiness. And to show you how important that is, I'm going to put Chris's foot in a fracture brace.
What? You're not putting my foot in a brace? I'm going to stay safely up here, thank you.
Watch out, Chris!
Ah! Ow! My leg!
Oh no, it looks like you needed that foot brace after all. Just in time for Dr. Zahn's fantastically fair and in no way rigged for me to win Super Springy Footathlon!
Wait, say the title of the race again.
No, Chris, you should have had your listening ears on. Now, what Chris hasn't realised is that because his foot is in the splint boot, his foot arch won't be able to give him any spring or bounce.
Chris's foot isn't really broken. If you're wearing a splint brace, don't try a footathlon like this.
I, on the other hand, will have the full use of my natural feet with their incredible arch design.
Now look, Zahn, I've been thinking you can't have a race with just 2 people in it. So I've invited a 3rd person to take part in our footathlon. Come on in, Simeon.
Hi, Chris.
Zahn meets Simeon Chiola. He is a specialist in extreme stilt jumping. His stilts are gonna supersize the bounce from the arches in his feet.
The first event in the Ouch Footathlon is the 17.7 metre dash. Simeon bounces into the lead thanks to those super springy stilts. The bounce from Zahn's foot arch gives him a natural spring, propelling him forward and into 2nd place. But Chris has no bounce, leaving him trailing at the back. Simeon is already at the hurdles. Stop showing off with your bouncing. You're not too far behind though, Zahn. Your foot arch is acting as a shock absorber when you land, helping you keep a good pace. Whereas I've only just finished the first challenge. Don't worry, Chris. It looks like Simeon is going to beat us both. He's reached the last challenge, the egg and spoon dash. Without any spring in my foot, there's no way I'm getting over these hurdles. I'll just have to go through them. Hang on a minute. Simeon's stilts have made him too bouncy and he's struggling to balance the egg. Oh, now he's gone and broken it. Maybe I have a chance after all. In your dreams, Chris. My foot arch is making sure I can keep a slow and balanced pace, so the winner is me and my amazing arched feet. So we've shown you that your feet have arches arranged like a keystone bridge, making them very strong. And that, thanks to their clever design, these arches are springy too, enabling your feet to propel you forwards, cushion your body when you land, and help you balance.
Zahn?
Chris, what has taken so long? I've been waiting forever.
Zahn, obviously I'm still wearing the boot and I can't get it...
No time for excuses, Chris. We have to catch the last bus home. Come on, hurry up. Wait for me! Ouch. I have the most amazing news. Operation Ouch is having a baby.
I know, Zahn, and it's gonna be amazing.
And I have some even better news, because we're not just having 1 baby, we're having 2.
What, twins like us?
No, Zahn, we're following 2 separate families.
This is Carrie, his dad Mickey, his mum Susie, and...
Baby.
And this is Remy Carter and Bo William with their mum and dad Lisa and Sam. And this is...
A baby sister!
Susie is due to give birth in 21 days, so she's getting everything ready for baby's arrival.
Mine?
Yeah, can the baby have it?
Yeah.
OK.
Lisa isn't due for another 6 to 8 weeks, but she's also making preparations to have the birth at home.
We're hoping that the children will be there at the moment of the baby coming into the world.
Exciting stuff!
Susie and Lisa will have carried their babies inside them for 9 months. But where did it all begin? Every baby starts as a tiny single cell deep inside a woman's uterus.
That cell splits, creating more cells which also split, and that keeps happening until there are billions of cells making up a complete baby.
This is our 20-week scan, effectively halfway through the pregnancy. On here, you can see the baby's spine, you can see the face.
It's amazing to see baby's spine, face and heart at only 20 weeks.
When Lisa got her 20-week scan, she chose to find out something else, the biological sex of her baby, and she's having a girl.
We're gonna be big brothers.
That's brilliant! Susie and Lisa's babies have been growing very quickly.
After only 4 weeks, their baby's heart and lungs begin to develop along with the limbs and nerves. But incredibly, baby is only the size of a poppy seed.
By week 9, the baby's developing eyes and hands. They can even sense touch, but they're still only the size of a cherry.
At 34 weeks, baby is the size of a melon and is well on the way to being fully developed.
Lisa and Susie's babies need a lot of nutrients to grow. They get these from the placenta.
The placenta is an organ that develops in the woman's womb during pregnancy. As well as providing oxygen and nutrients, it also removes waste products from the baby's blood. Everything goes in and out through the umbilical cord, which comes out of the baby's belly button.
It's amazing that your belly button was once your mouth and your bum all in one.
Yes, Aunt.
We'll catch up with both families later in the series.
Meet Hassan, Amelia, Edward and Finn.
We're following them going about their daily lives as they let us know what it's like to be a regular hospital outpatient.
Say hello to 8-year-old Hassan.
Hello.
Hello.
He lives at home with his little brothers Rayhan and Hamza, big sisters Malika, Alima and Maria, and mum Nisha and dad Aziz.
Some of Hassan's favourite things are science, slime, and playing with his brothers and sisters.
While Hassan has lots of fun at home, recently he has also had to spend time in hospital after being diagnosed with a type of blood cancer.
I have ALL. ALL means acute lymphoblastic leukemia.
This type of blood cancer affects the white blood cells, which are part of your immune system.
There are 2 different categories of white blood cell, lymphoid and myeloid cells, and they are made in your bone marrow.
Because Hassan has ALL, his body makes more lymphoid cells than he needs. They clog up his bone marrow, leaving no room for more healthy cells, and because of this, he's at higher risk of infection.
I have to get something called chemotherapy, which is a type of medicine that kills off cancer. The worst thing about chemo is that I don't get to eat dairy, and my favourite thing to eat that's dairy is chocolate. These are my beads of courage.
Every time Hassan has treatment or stays in hospital, he's given a different colour bead of courage to show how brave he's been.
The yellow ones mean hospital sleepovers. The white ones mean chemotherapy. And the rainbow ones mean physiotherapy.
Thanks for sharing your story, Hassan. Bye for now and see you soon.
Bye!
Back in the emergency department, Junior is about to have surgery on his hand. And this one is not for the squeamish.
Oh, no. I mean, we're not just saying that. No. This is not for the squeamish.
Not at all.
Not
Not in
at
any way.
all.
Not at all.
No, siree.
But everyone else, you're going to love it.
It's a goodie.
Earlier, Junior arrived in the emergency department with a deep cut to his hand. Stand by for a gross alert.
Junior was helping decorate the bathroom by peeling paper off a shelf in a cabinet.
He struggled to get some of it off, so he started scraping it with craft scissors. The scissors slipped and sliced across his hand.
Junior's cut is so deep he needs to have it closed by plastic surgeon Mr. Andrew Knight, who will also double-check to see if he has damaged his tendons or nerves.
Stand by for a mega gross alert. Before the surgeon looks at Junior's hand, it's covered in antiseptic and washed.
Hang on, Chris. We need to upgrade this to an uber mega gross alert.
If you're squeamish, look away now and we'll tell you when you can look back. We're about to show you shots of surgery which might seem extreme, but we're showing you them because it's so rare to be able to see inside a hand like this. Get ready. 3, 2, 1.
Basically cut, clear that.
We had to expand the wound so we can see what was damaged inside. Unfortunately for Junior, one of his tendons was damaged completely. The tendon is what makes the finger move, so we had to repair this.
To repair the tendon, the surgeon stitches the two cut halves back together, which will heal over time, becoming one again. Remember, Junior can't feel a thing.
The surgeon then closes up the wound using dissolvable stitches. Gross alert over. You can look back now. Junior's hand is put in bandages to keep him from using it and opening up the cut again.
Junior's hand will be okay, won't it, Mr. Knight?
Junior will make a full recovery.
Excellent news.
It's not long before Junior is awake again and enjoying a sandwich.
He'll need to keep his dressing on for 6 weeks and then come back for the doctors to check his hand and tendon have healed okay.
What's happening now, Junior?
I'm going home.
But what are you going to do if you see some scissors?
I'm never touching scissors.
Well, not without a grown-up.
Take care now, Junior. Bye!
Still to come on Operation Ouch.
More amazing foot stuff as Ronks goes barefoot running.
And we meet another new Ouch patient.
You're gonna be on TV.
But first,
Today's Mindbender is all about colour. I've got two identical pictures of a desert here, and I'm going to make them appear different.
did somebody say dessert? I hope there's custard.
Those aren't desert.
Sandy custard. Ugh. Ta-da!
I want you all to look at the pictures of the desert. The pictures are the same, they're just mirror images, and above them are two blocks of colour with a white dot.
So we're going to make you see the pictures of the desert differently. Who thinks we can do that? No! Well, we can, because this is Mindbenders. So this illusion only works if you follow the instructions really carefully. So we want to start by looking at this dot for 30 seconds. And then at the end of 30 seconds, you're going to look at the lower dot.
Okay, is everyone ready to stare at the top white dot? Yeah! Starting now, 30 seconds. So stay fixated on that dot. Do not move your eyes anywhere else. Keep looking at the top white dot. How are we doing, Sand?
23, 22, 21,
So stay
20.
Stay looking at the white dot. Don't move your eyes around. Don't look at anything else. Just keep your eyes on that top white dot.
You are allowed to blink, but just keep looking at the dot.
The white
10,
dot. Keep looking.
9, 8, 7,
Now, when I
6.
say, you're going to flick your eyes to the lower dot, but only when I say 3, 2, 1. Look at the lower white dot now. I think some of you noticed that when you looked at the lower white dot, the deserts appeared a bit different, didn't they? Katina, what did you see?
I saw that the right one looked darker.
Why are you suddenly seeing two identical pictures as having different colours?
The colours in the top kind of confuse your brain and it makes it look like the bottom one changed.
So that's right, your brain is getting confused. In your normal lives, you will never ever leave your eyes still staring at one thing for 30 seconds. Because what happens is the cells that detect green and the cells that detect red start to switch off. They get tired, they get bored. And so when you look at the bottom two pictures, what happens is this one you see without green in it, and in this one you see without red in it, even though both pictures are exactly the same.
Wasn't that a brilliant Mindbender?
Yeah!
Get ready for another new ouch patient.
Here's 10-year-old Edward.
Come, hang out.
Edward's favourite things are his pets,
You're gonna be on TV.
magic, and climbing.
Edward has a very rare condition.
I've got ECCL.
Which stands for encephalocraniocutaneous lipomatosis.
That's a tongue twister.
Which is why some people call it Haberland syndrome. It can affect any part of the body, but mainly it affects Edward's heart and eyes.
It is pretty rare because I am number 57 in the world to have it. And proof, this cushion.
That's 57 of only 82 cases in the world.
Edward has a large fluid sac in his skull, which is called an intracranial cyst.
I can't do contact sports because because of my cyst in my head. It's risky that I might knock it, which is a shame because there's some really fun ones I want to do.
My first ever operation, you can still barely see the scar. It was on my heart. I've got another condition called sclerocornea, which means my cornea is a bit fuzzier than everyone else's. I can't see as well as everyone, but it's not making me blind. It's making me severely visually impaired.
All of his conditions mean Edward has to take a lot of different medicines daily.
These are my eye wipes. My amlodipine, which slows down my blood pressure, is in the fridge. See you next time for my doctor's appointment. Bye!
Bye, Edward! I love running. Pair of trainers and away you go. But for some runners, it's even simpler. They've ditched the footwear altogether. They're barefoot runners and their bodies are brilliant.
Meet Anna McNuff, all-round adventurer and athlete. She's cycled the Andes, won a European bronze medal as a Team GB rower, and she's running 100 marathons across Britain barefoot.
Hi, Anna. Hello. Don't your feet hurt?
Oh, it takes a little bit of getting used to.
Yeah.
The first time it was like running on hot coals. Like,
Yeah. Ow, yeah.
But now it's easier.
Yeah, and if you wanted to give somebody who wanted to run barefoot some like training advice, what would you tell them?
I'd say just start with even a barefoot walk of maybe half a mile.
Okay.
And just feel the different surfaces, walk over some grass, some bark, and just start to feel the different sensations.
Running in trainers isn't part of your body's natural design, so some scientists think it might be healthier to run barefoot. To find out why, we need to take a closer look at Anna's feet.
Ronks and Anna have come to a special sports lab where biomechanics scientist Dr. Amir Mahagegi will examine how they run. He places electrodes on their lower bodies before getting them to sprint across a force plate. The computer results will then reveal which part of their foot touches the ground first.
One clean landing.
First up, let's see what happens when Ronks and Anna run in trainers.
So when you and Anna are wearing trainers, you have the tendency to land with your heel during running.
Now Anna and Ronks run barefoot.
When you're running without the footwear, you have the tendency to land with the front part of the foot, so you are less landing on your heels.
Running is a high-impact sport that generates lots of force. Striking the ground with the heel of your foot generates sudden, powerful impacts that are equal to several times your body weight. Over time, this could potentially lead to knee or hip injuries.
Whereas landing toe first generates less force, which reduces the risk of injury because there's less stress on your knees and hips.
Running barefoot, you might be worried about the soles of your feet, but the skin on your feet is much thicker than anywhere else on your body because new cells are being made frequently in response to pressure being applied to the skin. You can't go barefoot running straight away, and you should always check with an adult. Anna's feet will face a lot of challenges running those 100 marathons, but thanks to her brilliant body, she has developed some incredible ways of coping with them.
Ouch.
this can only mean one thing. There's a new case in the emergency department and we have to get there pronto.
Come on, Zack!
My sandwich! In the emergency department, 12-year-old Zack has arrived with his mum. What's up, Zack?
My wrist bent backwards.
It bent backwards? How did that happen?
Zack was in a PE lesson at school playing his least favourite sport.
Let me guess, was it toe wrestling?
No, Zond, how can he hurt his wrist toe wrestling?
Good point. Extreme hopscotch then. Very dangerous on the wrists.
That's not even a sport.
Cheese rolling?
Enough with the guesses, Zand.
Zack's least favourite sport is basketball. Zack wasn't too keen on trying to tackle the biggest player on the court. Zack put his hand out to stop the ball, but it was directly in the path of the other player and his wrist bent right back.
Ouch!
Here to take a look is paediatric practitioner Simon Rush.
A bit like.
So it's a bit swollen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can you bend your wrist up?
But I can't.
Where does it hurt when you try and do that?
Around like.
There, okay.
Because Zack has limited movement in his wrist, Simon sends him off for an X-ray.
How's it looking, Simon?
Can you see here? There's a little bump. It's called a buckle fracture.
A buckle fracture is more common in kids as your bones are softer and more flexible than adult bones.
When Zack bent his wrist back, the injury made his bone bend and buckle rather than break.
What do you make of that, Zack?
I wasn't expecting that I broke it.
What we're going to do is put a special splint onto your wrist that you're going to wear for the next 3 weeks, okay? It's a very simple break that we know will heal really well on its own. So you put your hand into there so your thumb comes all the way up to there, that's it.
Working that splint, Zack.
Take care of yourself.
Bye! Next time on Operation Ouch, we're on the wards answering your medical questions.
Why is my cast so rock hard?
Can you show me how hard it is?
We've top tips to boost your mind.
It's like you're talking to someone, but it's just staying between you.
And we give it some face in the lab. It was worth it for the science.
We'll see you next time.
For more
Operation Ouch!
I call the front!
No, I want the
Yes!
front!
No, I'm in the front. I'm the front. I called it first.
Zand, where are you? There's a new patient in the emergency. Sorry, now I'm laughing. Sorry. Coming up today on
Operation Ouch!
Sorry. You got to shove me hard. Give me a little go.